there. This is Crystal Francis, and welcome to another episode of Start Her Up. How you doing today, Jess?
I am Jessica Sarash. I am doing great, and we're ready to talk about networking like a pro. Have you guys been in a situation that you start to network and you don't know where to start? We're going to talk about that today.
Yes, especially as an entrepreneur, networking is so important to your business. I don't care what you're doing or what your business is, it is so important to your business. So, just a few tips that we have learned along the way and that we implement in our own business to kind of help give you guys some great tips. So, let's get straight into it. So, the first step that I have for you in networking like a pro is develop a clear purpose. Why are you networking, right? Are you networking to gain a clientele? Are you networking to pick up clientele? Know your goals and who you're trying to reach out to.
Yeah,
That's
and not just for business, maybe you just moved to a new city. Maybe you're trying to form a community, not necessarily online community, but like just get to know people with your same likes and hobbies or situations. That I have a friend that has special needs children. And so she very much always looks for somebody who has the same issues going on, and especially when she's moved like 4 times. So networking can be applied to so many things, not just for business.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe it's finding a mommy group. You're a new mom. You need to find people that have this similar parenting style as you, or just someone to reassure you that you're doing, you're doing a great job. And I'm sure you are,
Yeah, especially now
Um,
that it's so tough to make friends, as an adult. I don't know why, but people keep
it is.
saying that, and I don't want to believe it, but it's true. Everybody has different
Mhm.
things going on and different
Yeah.
schedules and age.
Yeah, especially as an adult, whenever you start having families and people have their careers, their businesses, it gets so much harder to connect with people and have those solid, real friendships. It could be you get to find one of those in it, you know? I know my circle's very small and I keep it very small intentionally, just because I know how much time I can give people outside of my family is my main thing. And, it's not that I don't love people. I do. I love people, but I have to know how much time I can focus on that as well. So it is
Hmm.
important to network in those moments. So another big piece of networking like a pro is be authentic. Go in, be yourself, let them see who you are as a person and you will thrive. You're going to find your people. Jessica, what's your famous saying?
My famous saying is find your tribe.
Yeah, your vibe attracts your tribe. So Jess says that quite a bit. And it's so true because you want to connect with the people who are like minded. So if you go out there and be authentically you, you're going to find the people that love, trust, and fully believe in what you are doing and have as much passion for it as you do,
Hmm.
which is
Yeah, because
incredible.
it's tough to network. I mean, and when we talk about networking, people are probably thinking, oh my gosh, a room full of professionals, lunch and learn.
Hmm.
And that's not necessarily true.
Hmm.
I actually have a very good example of how networking works in the real life, in real life. So I am a passionate football girl. I love the NFL. Plug in. I'm not going to say who my team is. I might get some hate mail, but I love football. And so one time I was just watching the game at my house. I moved to a new city. I don't know very many people who like football. And I looked up my team name and I looked up, the name of my city. And I ended up in a restaurant, like this group of people meet with the same, football game team, I mean. And now I have a network of people that I would have never met on a regular basis,
Hmm.
and so I find out, last couple of games that I went to, that this guy has a butcher shop, so he's like telling me like, whenever you want real great cuts of meat, I have a butcher shop and I can get you some great meat. And I'm like, I don't know when I'm going to have the need for great cuts of meat, but now I know someone who has a butcher shop. And so it's just so random, but it's like my passion for, the game led me to a connection.
Hmm. Yeah. Absolutely. That's just like, I'm actually, one of my goals on my vision board. That's a topic for another day, Jess. We need to talk about vision boards. I love them.
I'm writing this down.
Love them. Is that I love to hike. I love hiking. I love being out in nature. It's just so grounding. So, and it's just not as safe as it used to be to do it alone. So,
Mm-hmm.
on my vision board, I actually have joined a hiking group. So, hold me to it. It's out there. I need a hiking group. It's still a little bit cold in our area right now. We've had a couple nice days, but I'm gonna find a hiking group and I'm gonna get out there and network and get to know people who love to hike just like me. Even if that's all we have in common. We're being our authentic selves and getting to hear their stories and their lives. I love that. I love learning about other people and their stories and the lives that they've lived. So just go be authentic and do the things that you love to do and your tribe will come. And put relationships over transactions. Okay. As you're doing that,
Mm-hmm.
it's still kind of in the same scenario. Your vibe attracts your tribe, right? So put those relationships over transactions, because once you build those relationships, as it's said a lot in our world in real estate, find people who know, like, and trust you. And that's how you end up with transactions. So
Mm-hmm.
go find those people.
Absolutely. If you are selling candles, if you're selling, clothing, if you're selling makeup, if you're selling, real estate, if you're selling anything, right? Yeah, of course, that is your business and you want to expand it. But how much more fun would your job be if you actually like form great relationships and expand your circle? And you never know, like at the beginning you were saying, Crystal, I'm keeping my circle small, and I totally get it. Like the circle that you're like, girl, I am dying, and you make a phone call and that person will show up.
Yep.
That's the circle that we want to keep small. However, our social circle, we can have as many friends as we want. And there's some friends that I haven't seen in 10 years, but I know I can pick up the phone, make a phone call, and they'll answer the phone and they'll be so happy to hear from me,
Yeah.
because maybe we haven't talked in 10 years, but the times we did spend together, were great. And so the same thing applies with your business
Yeah.
social network. It's like, you don't have to be best friends with everyone, and maybe you will, who knows, but invest in building relationships, and those same relationships actually will increase your production, will increase your business, will help you grow your business. I think we talked about it in a different podcast. If you ask me for help, you're my friend, I care for you, of course I want to help you. Like, it will be a pleasure for me to be able to help you somehow.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, you're going to have your close circle friends, but you're also going to have like that a second, looks an onion. It's like an onion, like
It is
Shrek.
an onion.
So you have your second layer of friends, and that second layer, you still have to be like-minded. So I do have friends that maybe we haven't talked in 3 or 4 months or even a year. And I can text them and say, I was thinking about you today. And they'll get right back to me. But the thing is that they have that understanding too, that life gets hard, life gets busy, and they wouldn't expect me to drop everything just to be there. And it's
Right.
finding those sort of people. So like for me, I have a harder time with those. Like, I've had some friendships in the past that didn't necessarily work out. And it was just because neither of us were bad. It just, we have different situations in our life. So in my instance, and Jess will probably be able to relate to this, and on the opposite side maybe. So having kids and running your own business, there's a lot happening. So people that don't have that lifestyle or don't have the kids, or that's not their wish, they don't understand, like, how are you so busy? Why are you so busy all the time? Like, what is going on in your world that you can't just pick up the phone? And so it's getting those people that are relatable to you, understand that there's days you're just exhausted and you really don't want to talk, or you really don't want to talk over a screaming kid. you
You
know?
know, I've had friends that tell me, I am so sorry. They apologize over
Mhm.
exaggeratedly because they don't reply back to a text message of
Yep.
mine. And I always say the same thing. I'm like, if it was an emergency, if I was bleeding, I would have called you. Right?
Yeah.
So don't ever like apologize to me for not getting back to me through a text message,
Yeah.
or a meme that I sent you.
Yes.
Don't ever apologize for that.
Yes.
We all
Yes.
have busy lives.
Yes, absolutely. So it's just kind of finding those people that match that vibe with you. So find those
Hmm.
people because everybody's going to be different. There's going to be,
Absolutely. And you're going to have your social friends that like to brunch. You're going to have your social friends that like to hike and, do physical activities, the ones who like to travel, the ones who like to read, the ones who like to just care for you and bring you cookies or,
yeah,
or cook for you. So it's just different things. But going back to the networking part, like the actual, how do I meet people? How do I expand my network?
yeah,
I just briefly touched about being true to yourself, right? Your vibe attracting your tribe. So just what kind of person are you? And for that, you need to kind of know yourself, like who am I gonna enjoy spending my time
yeah.
with, or in what circles will I enjoy expanding my network? So what do you think about that?
Yeah, that's exactly kind of the next point I was getting ready to hit, Jess. Making sure you're looking for the right networking groups. So like if I don't like Pokemon, I'm not going to join a Pokemon Go group.
I know.
So, if I'm not a reader, which I am, like I'm not going to join like a book club. Like find groups that make sense to you. And maybe you're like, I don't necessarily have a hobby. Like
Hmm.
what are the things that you're doing most in your day? Maybe you have to sit and think about those things. Like what are you doing most in your day? Because I know outside of my business, I have a hard time getting to do my hobbies just because I'm at that season of my life where I have a young family and we're running
Hmm.
around a lot for activities. So sometimes my hobby is running my kids around. Um
Yeah.
so
But you know what?
find
This
one
is
group.
very sad. This is very sad, but there are people who don't know what their hobbies are.
Yeah,
Maybe
you know.
they started their life very early, very young, had
Mhm,
kids, and the whole life has been children or
mhm,
whatever has been, something else, and they have no idea. They've
yeah,
only taken care of other people. So that's the type of person that I would say try everything, even if you have no interest.
yes,
Singing lessons, piano lessons, dancing lessons, art
yes.
lessons,
Go to like those sip and paints that they have. I know they've got those across the nation. Go sip on a glass of wine and paint a picture and see who you meet.
Hmm.
Go
Hmm.
antiquing. I have a great friend who loves to go antiquing. See who you run into, or find an
Hmm.
antiquing group. See if you like it. Like I always tell
Yeah.
her, I'm like, I love that you do it. I think it's great and I can appreciate it, even though I don't necessarily understand it to her level. Um,
Right.
but
Right.
I wouldn't work out in that group, but she's perfect for it. So just go try things. Go out hiking and see who you run into if you've never hiked
Hmm.
before.
Talk
Try
to the
new
lady
things.
next to
Have
you, getting her nails done, if
Mhm.
that's what you're into,
Yeah.
Talk to the lady. Maybe you're getting your nails done together now and having lunch afterwards.
Or if your kids are in activities and you're busy running around, talk to the other moms, the other dads. See what they're into. Join them. Oh, hey, let's go out for drinks and hang
Yeah.
out.
Or let's
Yeah.
get together with the kids and let them practice in the yard or,
Yep.
you
I
know.
just did that a couple days ago, actually. We had a tumbling meets, and then after one of my daughters was playing with another little girl, and I was like, "Hey, it's really nice. This is where we're headed. If you want to join us." And they came, and the girls played, got to get to know the parents a little bit better, and it did just kind of end up in your circle that way. It comes organically. So
Yeah. Yeah.
just find those things, and like the things that you realize that you start to like, stick with it and see what happens.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. And even if that does not sound good at all, maybe you're somebody more serious, get involved in, whatever group you're into. It can be faith-based, it
Mhm.
can be philanthropic, it can be, in your community, maybe
Yeah.
you can volunteer at the local
Yes.
hospital, at the local senior
Animal
center.
shelter. Yeah.
Yeah,
If you
animal
if you
shelter.
if you're like, "I'm introverted and I'm a cat lady," go see if the shelter needs help. You don't necessarily you can hang out with cats, or dogs. I'm a dog person. So, go help out at the shelter. Maybe that might be making
Yeah,
sure they get fed or cleaning out their
yeah.
pens or whatnot, but you're doing something you're passionate about, and you don't have you can be as social as you want in those situations, I feel. Like,
I agree.
other
Uh,
people.
s- Something I did when I was not working and I was a housewife with no kids, that was really tough in my 20s. Everybody
Yeah.
has kids and you're the only one who doesn't have kids.
Yeah.
I actually got a really cool job something I never done before. And it really made me go to a place where I didn't have the need for maybe the paycheck at the time, but it was fun. So I got a job at a boutique and I was surrounded by pretty dresses and pretty jewels and pretty handbags and everything. And it was just a fun thing for me to do. But I got to meet all these women that also worked at the boutique and all these customers, and I would talk to people and everything. So maybe get a part-time job, if you're retired and you're like at home and you're not doing much. It's not about the money all the time, maybe
No.
go out there and get a job that you enjoy, that you'll be good at. And even if you're not, just try it out.
And even if you're scared to go out in public and do it, start with social media.
Mhm.
Start small. Start looking on Facebook for like hiking groups in my instance, right? Or looking into groups of like book clubs or whatever it is. There's so many things out there. So start there. You like to cook, go get in a cooking like little group on Facebook and
Mhm.
see who you can
Mhm.
find. Even Aldi has that. Like Aldi, the grocery store, they
Love
have
all
this
these. Yes.
insane group. I love it on Facebook where they just talk about what comes in on the aisle of shame and who's going where. And so even whenever you go into an Aldi's, they have their own like I want to say like a cat call, like it's like "Paka," or something crazy. I don't even know what it is. Like if you're in the store and you hear that, like that's their like sign that they're in the group and people will like do it back to each other. So if you're in an Aldi and that happens, that's what's happening and it's great.
Gosh, I'm so
So
glad you explained this to me. I
have you
haven't
had
been
that
at
happen?
Aldi's in a while. No, not yet, but now I know. I need to look it up.
Yeah, the group is so funny. And someone will get in the group and be like, I found a local Aldi's group person. I was in there and I heard the call. Like, and I did it back and we found each other. So there's so many unique ways just to find people,
Yeah, I
Am I
agree.
going to
I
be the
agree.
person that walks into a grocery store and starts making bird noises? Probably not. But if
But if you
somebody
do it to me, I will reply.
exactly, if I understand, I will reply. I will totally reply. Um,
Well, you heard it
yeah.
here, ladies and gentlemen. The Aldi's group with the call.
Yes, it's a thing. It's a real thing. So even if you have to start with social media, you're a little bit introverted, go for it.
Hmm.
Like
And you know
I,
what? Last thing I'm going to say is there is this app, there's this website called Meetup. Meet
yeah.
Up all together. Look it up. You're going to
Mhm.
find all kinds of things, all kinds of groups. And if you don't see what you're looking for, you can create it. You can create it. How amazing is that? I actually started a Meetup group for tennis aficionados that are not very good like me. And I created a group, and we actually met a couple times, and it was a mixed group. Sometimes more guys would show up, sometimes more girls would show up, and all different levels of tennis. We actually had a good time, like that summertime, and then winter came, and that was the end of that. But I
Mhm.
got to meet people that I would have never met otherwise.
Yeah. Or Eventbrite. Eventbrite's another good one. I look on there once in a while for just networking events,
Hmm.
classes, things like that I might be interested in. Actually, I don't even think Jess knows this. Here in June, I'm going to be doing, it's the second time I've done it, actually. This one's a little bit different, but I'm going to be doing a 5K and it is a mud run.
Woohoo!
Mud run.
Oh,
So I did one a few years back and it quit coming to our town. And the closest one is 3 hours away. So now there's another one that's similar that's coming back in June, and I'm so excited. It was so much fun. But you never know the community that you're going to be with out there. Like
hmm
and the
hmm
last one, it was called Muddy Princess, and everybody's stuck in this mud pit covered in mud, and there's this mud hill you have to get up, and like it's like this 5 foot wall you have to climb over,
Oh,
but it's
wow.
so muddy that you can't get up it. So everybody's just pushing each other's butts up, just getting through, and like you don't know the person that's touching your butt right then, but they're doing
They're
it so
trying to help you.
push through and you can say you did it. And
I
so
love
it's
it.
just even finding those little things. I mean, you can introduce yourself afterwards if that makes you feel better.
Hey, I'm the one who was pushing your butt up. Nice to meet you.
What was the
You
introduction?
you should definitely get their name if they did that for you, you know?
Right. But it's that was one of my favorite things I've ever like, and that was me getting out of my comfort zone. Like I'm clearly not a runner, but I cannot wait to do the next one. So I've been
That
trying
sounds
to
awesome.
encourage myself to do more 5Ks and find people like myself that I'm not going to run the whole thing. I mean,
You know,
okay, but
this girl that I go get my nails done, she was just telling me that last year, 2024, her commitment was to do a 5K every month.
wow.
So she had never run before. She joined the club and she did it. She ran a 5K every month. And so now she's trying to do like a 10K. I don't know if she said every month this year, but my point is that she told me how her life transformed. So
Yeah.
it wasn't even like the running physically, like
Mhm.
how she transformed her body. It was more like the people she's hanging out with.
Yeah.
The quality of her friends changing, the activities she does. She's like, I no longer
Yeah.
look for another party. Like, I'm actually like having dinner and cooking with my friends and like having like meaningful time together. So
Yes.
it was very cool to hear her story of the past, at the time it was 11 months. And I'm like, wow, I'm so inspired by you. I told her, I'm like, I don't think I could do a 5K at my age every month starting, but good for you. And it just proves, like, you start with a small goal and
Yeah.
who knows where it's going to take you. So when I want to reinforce is put yourself out there,
Yep.
try something new, and most important tip, be authentic. No matter
Yes.
what group of people is around you, be authentic. Don't try to pretend to be cooler than you are. Don't try to pretend dumber than you are. Just be you.
Be you. Be you. And get out of your own way. Like, I know that I've had times in the past where I've signed myself up for something or committed myself to something and I talk myself out of it. Have you been there?
Yeah.
So don't even think about it. Don't even allow yourself to have that conversation with yourself. If you're going to do that, I've committed to a saying, and I know Jess has heard me say this before, is that I always say that I'm going to do what I said I'm going to do because I said I would. I know that's a lot of words there, but I'm going to do it because I said I would. And that's
Yeah.
like just my
That's to
own.
yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's to yourself. I love it. Well, I cannot wait to get people to write to us and tell
yes.
us that they listen to this podcast. And because of this podcast, they put themselves out there and they actually discovered a new friend, a new business partner, a new client, a new whatever.
Yeah. And
Can't wait.
last point, and then we can hang this one up for today. Once you go out there and find these people to network with and build that circle, stay in touch with them. Don't be afraid to ask for their number. Cuz that's
Yeah,
another like old crystal thing. Like I would meet these people and be like, "Okay, see ya." Ask for their information because they probably want yours as well. Like I'm sure they're feeling the same way. So don't feel weird about that. Just be like, "What social media do you use?" and add them if you're
bingo.
uncomfortable asking for a phone number, or be like, "Hey, can I text you so next time I come out running, we can go together. I can see if you're busy, or maybe we can get our dogs together." If you're too uncomfortable to ask, find a reason to ask. Like add something to it. Like, "Oh, well, I might be out here next week. You want me to see if you want to go or whatnot." So don't be afraid to keep in contact with these people. That's how meaningful
Yes.
relationships are built.
Because you know what? They probably want your number too. And I would say the same thing as Crystal just said. Ask for their Instagram. I feel like Instagram, even if you don't have an Instagram, even if you
Mhm.
don't post, put a couple pictures there, which is gonna,
Well,
some people are like hesitant to give you their Instagram because you only have 6 pictures. And I'm like, I have a life. Sorry.
yeah, I just always ask, what social do you use the most? And that's where
Yeah.
I'll add them. And that way, at least I know how to find them. Because,
But if
like,
you're
if they're not on,
older,
like, for me, I use TikTok a lot. I like TikTok. Most people my age are like,
I
they're on
don't have it.
TikTok. Yeah. So I'll be like, what social media do you use the most? And I probably have it. I'm going to go ahead and add you. And even if I'm not as active on that one, I know where to find you.
Exactly. Yeah, I feel like asking for an Instagram is so much less
Mhm.
violent than a phone number. So
Yeah.
it's like, do you have Instagram? That's what I always say.
Well,
No,
or the
because I don't have
kids.
TikTok.
Well, or the kids, like the younger generation, instead of giving out phone numbers, they ask for each other's Snapchat. They get their each other's
Yeah.
Snapchat handle instead of passing out phone
Yeah.
numbers.
Yeah,
So,
because
I
it's
mean,
less
don't be afraid to ask.
intrusive.
Mhm.
You can get to know the person better through their posts.
Mhm.
You can actually develop, or you can see they're posting about, I don't know, decorating for spring already. I'm decorating for
Yeah.
spring already. And you can like comment and then they'll reply back. And then from there, you can take it to, oh my gosh, we should go shopping for spring decorations next time we go, whatever. So it's just that pattern of getting somewhere, but you gotta start somewhere. So go out there, put yourself out there, comment on other people, even if you don't know them very well, get to know them. People
Yes.
are very lonely. That's the bottom line.
People want to be known, they want to be heard, and they want to feel heard. So people don't remember by what you say, they remember you by how you make them feel. That's my last tip of the day. Okay.
Let's wrap
They
it up with
remember
that.
you by how you make them feel. Okay. So send us emails, texts. I don't know if texts work. Send us some sort of communication. Let us know your tips on how you are getting out there and networking. We'd love to hear it. And we cannot wait to have you for the next episode. Thanks for
Yeah,
joining us.
let us know how you met your last, the last person you met. How did you meet them? Would love to
Yes.
hear.
Write us. Tell us how you met them. Give us ideas. All right. Everybody have a wonderful day. And we can't wait for you to come join us on the next one.